that's kind of I think is I sometimes hear about private conversations, and the private conversations I hear about the sheer amount of disruption that they anticipate. And then when I see them on like CNBC or at Davos, it's whatever will be fine and figured out. And I understand the incentive, because if they were to start ringing the bell, it might hurt their own chance of like innovating and fundraising and all those things. But I think you sit at this sort of happy medium of being, as the CEO of Uber, you've got to pursue the opportunity and the technology. But on the other end, to be honest and say, listen, there's going to be big disruption, and I don't know the answers.
Yeah. I remember you were talking about CNBC. A CNBC anchor once, we had an interview, and afterwards she said, I really like you. You actually answer my questions. And I'm thinking to myself, what am I not supposed to? There's like the PR trading is always, if you get a bad question, don't answer the question, just pivot to something else. And for me, like I've sworn to myself, and Noah, who's up there, is probably going to kill me afterwards. It's just, I'm going to answer the question. I'm not going to do the BS. And again, I have to think the anchor knows what's happening. The audience knows what's happening. So I'm like, I'll answer the question. If it's a shitty question, I'll deal with it. Well, I do think it's important to recognize that if fundamental transportation becomes safer, it becomes cheaper, going back to Jevons paradox, that's a good thing for society, right? I don't think that the answer as it relates to society is to try to slow down the pace of change, because China won't, for example, if we're talking about the West. So I think you just have to lean into it. And then I do think that the society arming up to be able to retrain large groups of people at scale is not a skill. I don't see people investing in that. And I don't see that as a core capability of any of our countries, et cetera. If there's one thing I can come up with, it will be that, is the retraining machine.